Hello, PHHE 315. We are on to week 8. We are getting there. We're getting to it. So, this week you should be planning for the midterm exam, which is next week. It's on Friday, as are all the assessments. It's open at 6 a.m. And closed at 11 p.m. I will be posting as soon as the captioning is done, as soon as it's done being transcribed, midterm review. And this was a review that I recorded in an in-person class review. So I hope that you like that. I think that it's a little more true and real and hopefully stimulating for you to hear my responses to actual students' questions who took the class in person. You, of course, can also post questions in our question discussion board that I can answer, or you can also email me, although I think that discussion board would be probably the best forum for questions about the midterm. So that is next week, but as far as this week, you do have textbook chapter 7. We're going through planning processes for evidence-based programs. And then assignments that are due this week are, of course, the behavior change journal, as well as a discussion board. And that discussion board actually also focuses on your midterm studying. So I'm trying to give you some opportunities to get thinking about the midterm earlier rather than later. If you do not have enough to think about with those things going on, you can check out some content that I posted last week about the paper, if you haven't checked it out already. If you go to the Assessments tab, and then there's a folder called Paper. If you open that up, some of the things that are in this folder are not brand new to you, but I've linked them there for your convenience. So like the first thing that you see is a folder called Week 5 Theory-Based Approaches. I just put a link in there for your convenience to our Week 5 content because the paper has a heavy theory component, so you probably will be needing to refer back to that material. I also have a link, a course link, so I mean it's not a web link, it's a link to that area of the Blackboard course, to your journals, so that again, when you're writing your paper and you're needing to refer back to your journals, you don't have to go through navigating to the journals, it's just right there for you. Also the plagiarism link, and I put that there. I mean, if you truly feel like you need to navigate back to that training and read NIU's policy on plagiarism or anything like that, you still can, of course, but I really put that more as a reminder that you need to be cognizant of doing your own work, your authentic work, and properly citing while you're writing your paper. To that end, there is also a folder called APA Style and Writing. You'll be using APA in this course for your paper, and you will find some resources in this folder regarding APA. These are the most updated APA documents that I have, and most, if not all of these, were obtained from Gail Jackie, who's the director of the Writing Center. I also will be posting a presentation by her. I'm waiting for that to be transcribed as well, so I will post that where she talks about academic writing style. So there's just a bunch of stuff you'll have to look through. There's the link to the APA formatting and style guide. There's a paper that's in the sample paper that's in APA style. Now, don't think that this was like a paper for this course and then model your paper off of that or anything. It's just to show you the APA. There's a sample reference section for APA style because, of course, you'll need to cite APA in the text as you're writing, and then you'll also need to have a reference list that's in APA format at the end of the paper. There's an example of if you need to include any appendices in your paper. There's an example of how to do that. There's a little bit of information here on just academic writing in general, so some things to keep in mind about your writing style, which is different than if you're, say, writing a blog or something, right? And I'm sure all of you know that by now. There is a document for how to insert a running head properly in your paper. APA quick reference, and then APA and writing style information. So a lot to look at there. I will be posting more detail about the format of the paper specifically. There's one document here called So I guess I should mention I'm out of the APA resources folder now. I'm back into just the paper folder within the assessments tab. So there is one PowerPoint called Parts of the Paper. I will also be posting an audio for parts of the paper. It's not like a presentation, it's just a couple of slides delineating the parts of the paper and the format of the paper. And my audio will have more detail still. There is a document called PHHE 315 Paper Rubric. That's the paper rubric. So it gives you the breakdown of the points and how it will be graded. There is a folder called Accessing Resources. If you navigate into there, this is primarily on library resources. There is a link here to basically the contact information for Dr. Beth McGowan. If you're having trouble finding academic articles, and we'll get into that more, but you will need to access academic articles that are related to your behavior change topic. She is a resource for you if you hit any stumbling blocks trying to do that. Then I also have a web link here to NIU Library tutorials, and specifically those might be of help when you go to search for articles. Some of you, I'm hoping that most of you have done this for other classes. Some of you may not have. So this will be a good exercise in learning how to find scholarly, academic, peer-reviewed articles through NIU libraries. Okay. And then there's another document here that Beth McGowan, our health sciences librarian, provided to me for some specific techniques with how to search, how to narrow or broaden a search, and that type of thing. If you don't feel like one thing or another in this folder is helpful, don't use it. But my hope is that I have enough here that none of you will be, reaching for, grasping for something that's not there, or feeling like, oh, if I only had this, it would be really helpful. I just try to err on the side of including more rather than less. Now, when you go to submit your paper way down the road toward the end of the semester, this paper folder will be where that assignment link is. So when it's time to submit your folder, you'll navigate to assessments, paper, and then there will be an assignment that says submit paper here. It should be pretty obvious right at the top. And I'll probably have that open early, like maybe a week or so before the paper is due. I don't anticipate anyone probably having it done before then, but you can theoretically turn it in, early. You want to make sure that you're not doing it too early, because the crux of the paper really is in the change and what has happened to you, what you've experienced during your behavior change. So if you only do it for half the semester and then you write the paper, there's not quite as much rich experience there. You may be missing out on something that you would have gone through, 2/3 of the way through the semester. So let's try to keep the journaling going up until, as long as we can, and then write that. That doesn't mean that you can't get started searching for articles related to your paper, related to your topic, your behavior change. You can do quite a bit of legwork. You can start learning APA if you haven't done that. There's a lot you can do, but as far as, really drawing your conclusions, probably want to wait on that. Whew. Okay. I don't think I'm missing anything. I think I've covered what I wanted to cover for this week. But do be in touch, and I look forward to seeing you online. Thanks so much.